Hello and welcome back to the channel. So now the World Cup is upon us, so the Liverpool content will be stopping for a bit, and while I'm not going to do any match reactions to England games, I am going to be bringing you a little bit of World Cup content. So before the World Cup starts, I thought it would be a great time to give my World Cup 2022 Qatar predictions. So I'll be using this Telegraph website here that they've got, which is going to allow me to go through, as you can see, and select who I think is going to win each game, and then it will eventually come down who I think will be the winner of the World Cup. So I'm going to try and go about this whole process without any England bias at all. Obviously, I'll be supporting England a lot of the World Cup, but here I'm going to be completely honest as to what my opinions are and who I think is going to go out of the tournament and when. So firstly, we go through all the group stages, and we're going to start off with Group A, containing Qatar, Ecuador, Senegal and the Netherlands. I think this is a really good group. I think there's probably a fairly obvious standout as to who the winner of the group will be, and that is the Netherlands. I think they will top the group. I think Senegal will come second. I'll go for Ecuador third and Qatar fourth, and that rounds off Group A. On to Group B. Now this is England's group, and of course I said there's no England bias. However, I do think England should and hopefully will top this group. So I'm going to put England in first, and then I think Wales in second is likely. Then USA third, Iran fourth. Now Group C, we've got Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico and Poland. I think Argentina are the obvious standouts here with Messi and all. I think Mexico probably next. Mexico are a good team. Then Poland in third and Saudi Arabia in fourth. Next on to Group D. I think France are the very obvious standouts of this group. One of the favourites of the competition, of course. So France will go first. Denmark are a good side. I think they'll go second. Then I reckon Tunisia, then Australia at the bottom of the group. And that makes up Group D. So now on to Group E. This contains Spain, Costa Rica, Germany and Japan. I reckon Spain will top this group, with Germany coming as a close second, I guess. Costa Rica and Japan, to be honest, I don't know much about these two teams. So I'm gonna back the Asian team. I reckon Japan could get third. It doesn't matter anyway because they're both going out of the tournament. But that brings us on to Group F, which contains Belgium, Canada, Morocco and Croatia. I like this group a lot. I think this has potential to be a very entertaining group. I think Belgium should probably top it, and then I think Croatia will come second. Obviously they got to the final of the last World Cup in 2018. Canada and Morocco, I'm not too sure, but I think I'm gonna back Morocco to get third and Canada fourth, both of them going out of the World Cup as well. Group G now, Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland and Cameroon. Brazil, obviously, I think should and will top the group. Again, big favourites for the whole tournament. Switzerland, I think, are a strong enough team to come second. Then Serbia and Cameroon last, I think. On to Group H now, the final group of the World Cup. This contains Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay and South Korea. I think Portugal... this is another very good group, to be fair. Portugal and Uruguay, that's going to be a good game. But I think Portugal will edge it first in the group. Uruguay getting second. Ghana, South Korea, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Son is injured. I can't remember. I haven't checked. I'll go for Ghana in third and South Korea last. And that is what I think is going to happen in the group stages of the World Cup. That brings us on to the round of 16. There's some very, very interesting matchups here. And we start off with our first one, Netherlands versus Wales. Well, I think this is a bit of an easier one compared to a few of these in here. I think the Netherlands should win this and progress to the quarterfinals. Next one, Argentina versus Denmark. Again, I think this will be a good game, but I think Argentina should progress to the quarterfinals. That brings us next on to England versus Senegal in the round of 16. This is going to be an interesting match for me as a Liverpool fan as well. Mane possibly taking down England would be terrifying, but I do think England would just about edge through this game. I know we're not amazing at the moment, but I think we would just about get through this game and progress to the quarterfinals. France versus Mexico. I'd love to say Mexico could be underdogs and stuff, but it's France realistically, isn't it? Next, Spain versus Croatia. Now, this one I'm having trouble with because I think Croatia have a good chance. Croatia, because of how well they did in the World Cup last time, I feel like they have just a bit of a chance, like with underdog story and everything like that. So I'm gonna do some a bit daring here. I'm gonna say Croatia are gonna beat Spain and knock them out at the round of 16. Next, Brazil versus Uruguay. This is a good derby. This is a great game. This is going to be a must-watch. Very entertaining. I do think Brazil will just about get through. Darwin Nunez on Uruguay versus like Firmino, Alisson, Fabinho for Liverpool. So a lot of Liverpool players involved in this game as well. But I do think Brazil will get through to the quarterfinals. Belgium versus Germany now, another kind of derby game, especially as the flags are so similar of them as well. This is another really interesting one. I really don't know who's going to win this. I think it will all come down to who wants it more in this case and tournament form and stuff like that. I'm going to say, I'm going to say Belgium go through and knock out Germany early in the round of 16. Now, Portugal versus Switzerland. I think this one's a little bit more simple. I think Portugal will win this and progress to the round of 16. That brings us on to the quarterfinals, and now this is where it really gets interesting. There are some massive teams going out now. Firstly, we've got Netherlands versus Argentina. This is, again, a really tough game, but I think because it's a tournament, Messi and everything, I think I'm going to back Argentina to get through, knock out Netherlands and get to the semi-finals. Croatia versus Brazil next. This is where I think the Croatia hype train ends. I think the underdog story will end there and Brazil will knock out Croatia to get into the semi-finals. Now, England versus France. It's not coming home, lads. It's not coming home. England are not going to beat France. As much as I'd love to believe and wish that we'd somehow pull out the bag and beat France, it is just not happening. France are going to beat England, knocking them out of the quarterfinals and getting to the semi-finals. And finally, the last quarterfinal game, Belgium versus Portugal. This is, again, a really tight game for me. I think Belgium, again, very strong team. Portugal, very strong team. You can tell what I'm setting up for with the whole Argentina-Portugal thing. I think Portugal are going to do it just purely based on like the fact that it's a tournament as well. I reckon Portugal will knock out Belgium. And now we are on to the semi-finals. We've got two brilliant games here. We've got Argentina versus Brazil and France versus Portugal. So firstly, Argentina versus Brazil, another South American kind of derby game. It's going to be really tough because these are two teams that are favourites to win the tournament. I think Argentina because of Messi and everything, and Brazil because of their whole squad is amazing. I think, if I'm being completely realistic, as much as I'd love the fantasy of Argentina-Portugal final, if I'm being completely realistic, I reckon Brazil beat Argentina here. Tight, it won't be a demolishing, it will be a very tight game. But I reckon Brazil will beat Argentina and progress to the final. And now France versus Portugal. Again, this is like a European kind of derby game. Again, it's so hard to call because... But I guess the fact that I've eliminated Argentina now means that I can eliminate Portugal freely. So, I reckon France, if it came to this game, I reckon France would win. And France would knock out Portugal to progress to the final of the World Cup in Qatar 2022, which would be Brazil versus France. Now, this game, what do I think would happen here? Firstly, I feel like if this were to happen, it's like confirmed extra time and everything. This is going to be a long affair. This isn't going to be an easy game. It's going to be tight. It's going to go right down to the wire. I think Brazil or France, I'm going to go purely based off the fact that France won the World Cup last time in 2018, and it's a rare thing that a country would win the World Cup twice in a row. And I think Brazil are going to win the World Cup, beating France in the final, and Brazil will be your World Cup winners for 2022. 25% of people predicted Argentina to win, 21% predicted Brazil, 9% predicted England. So I'm with a decent group of people predicting Brazil to win, so I think that's good. And there we have it. Those are my predictions for the 2022 Qatar World Cup. Brazil are going to win, I think. I think they're going to beat France in the final. I think it will be a quarter-final exit for England. And I can already see potential for this tournament to be really entertaining with some great squads going into it. And I'm really looking forward to watching all the games. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you like and subscribe. Follow the channel on Instagram @RedHunterTV. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.